You're listening to the Oklahoma Onstage podcast, where we sit down with people from the bustling theater scene in the great state of Oklahoma. We hope you enjoy your time with us. If you do, please share the podcast with those you know. If you'd like to know more about who we are and what we do, visit us on Facebook or Instagram, or go to our website, oklahomaonstage.org. Now, hang on to your hat. We're starting another episode right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to Oklahoma On Stage. As always, I'm Tim. I'm your host. Let me ask you a question. What if I told you there was a place in Oklahoma where a 7-year-old and an 87-year-old can share the same stage together? Where competition takes a back seat to character development, and where students don't just learn to perform, they learn to lead. For nearly 30 years, Oklahoma Performing Arts in Broken Arrow has been quietly revolutionizing arts education in the Tulsa area. Under the leadership of our guest today, OPA has trained generations of performers who've gone on to earn scholarships across the country and build professional careers in the arts. But here's what makes OPA different. They're not just teaching dance steps and vocal techniques. They're using a proven youth development method to build structure, leadership, and character in every student that walks through their doors. We're talking with our guests to discover how a non-competitive approach to performing arts is creating the next generation of Oklahoma theater artists, and why she believes the arts are essential to developing leaders, not just performers. Oklahoma On Stage family, please join me in welcoming to the podcast the Executive and Artistic Director of Oklahoma Performing Arts, Norman Tyson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, basically, normally, as we always do, we're going to jump right into the beginning.
Okay.
How did you get started in theater?
Oh, how did I get started in theater?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good question. Well, I would probably have to say my stepmother, who was with Kansas City Ballet, and that kind of started me down the ballet track. And then from there, it just kind of evolved into me going to college, and from college I just loved teaching, and then I ended up here. Actually, I tried to go start a program with another organization, and they had just never heard of 3-year-olds or 5-year-olds actually doing curriculum that created them to listen or was scaled to meet 3-step directives. And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't know there was any other way, and created this program that we currently use. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you've been active in the Tulsa performing arts community for over 20 years. What brought you to Tulsa, and what made you decide to stay and build your career here?
Oh, what brought me here? Well, that's kind of a funny story, sort of. I met my first husband. Sounds like I have 12. I only have 2. And my first husband, he was in, or is in, aeronautics and came here for Spartan. And when we moved here, I actually worked at Miss Jackson's when I was here, and then taught gymnastics because I was a gymnast, along with being a ballet dancer and an actor, and we were triple threat trained as well. And yeah, he brought me here, and we were married for like, I don't know how many years. We have 2 children together, and then we divorced amicably. We're still very good friends, and I remarried Mr. Tracy, and Mr. Tracy and I have a daughter, and so we had 3 girls altogether, and they're wonderful people. So old people too, but they're wonderful people.
So you said before we got started that, you had not necessarily limited experience, but you weren't a professional actress or anything like that.
Yeah, not at all.
But you had that, and then you discovered teaching.
Oh, I love teaching. It's the best thing ever.
When did you discover the teaching bug?
Well, when you're in college, you have to make money. So I went to go teach for, the woman's name was B. Friedman. It was a Jewish community center, and went to teach little people, little short people, and these little 3-year-olds. And for some reason, I have a knack for teaching 3-year-olds. And I would teach, believe it or not, 18 of these little chickens in one class. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I would do it today, but I did. And it was a blast. I love kids. Love kids.
Nice. So you got certified through Dance Masters of America and Dance Educators of America. For those unfamiliar with those organizations, what does that certification process look like?
Well, for DEA, I kind of did DMA, which is Dance Masters, and DEA alongside of that. So DMA I did first, and that was actually a 4-year program, but I couldn't afford to do the 4 years, so I got permission to do the 4 years in 2 years.
Oh my.
So I crammed 5 different disciplines into that 2 years, and it's intense. I mean, it's very intense. I during the summers would go to New York. That's why I couldn't afford to do 5 years or 4 years of that nonsense.
Sure.
So I just crammed it into 2 summers, and yeah, you had all the demonstrative testing, you had all of the essay testing, you had all of the other testing, and yeah, it's a great program. It really is. I highly recommend Dance Masters and Dance Educators.
Okay.
So
Why was it important for you to pursue that level of professional training?
I think for me personally, it was, I'm a lifelong learner. I love to learn. I love school. I am going to a workshop even tomorrow. But I think ensuring that what I was bestowing upon someone else had as many different ways of knowing how to say it. You know, everybody can say plie. Everybody can explain, oh, you bend your knees, you know, blah, blah, blah. But being able to understand the child or the learner, where they're approaching it from, maybe their definition of plie or to bend is much different than mine. I had a student a very, very long time ago tell me that, yeah, you're telling me that this is green, and I am hearing you tell me it's green, but my green is not your green. Go speak to somebody else for me. Thank you. So it was fascinating to hear her perception of that. I thought, wow. All right, as an educator, I have got to be able to see it from their perspective and then be able to teach it in their perspective. So that means as educators, we have to be actors because we have to be able to portray a story for them to learn.
Absolutely. I love that. Love that. And being, you know, an individual who is a trainer, coach in my professional life and all, hearing those ways, because I have to learn with adult education that there are different levels of learning there as well. I learned in teaching a class that I had everybody from, you know, people that had been doing that job for 20 plus years that were coming back for a refresher, to I actually had a gentleman in one of my classes actually pick up a mouse and say, "What is this?" And so, yeah, I mean, so I was like, okay, well, obviously we're going to have to dial this back a little bit. But again, yeah, seeing that from that perspective, understanding he knew very little about computers.
Right.
And so being able, having to dial that back. So that makes perfect sense, seeing that from a different perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I love that.
And isn't it kind of fun that someone that is completely a blank canvas can bring so much to the conversation?
Absolutely.
Where somebody that's done it forever, sometimes they build up. Sometimes we're an active organization. They build up these almost like walls or fences or whatever you want to create, that blinders, that make them go, well, I'm already there. I've already arrived. I already know it all. My favorite, I had a student, like, I don't know when, that she was like, well, I don't do ballet anymore. And I was like, oh, well, why is that? She goes, I'd already mastered it. And I just about, He giggled so hard. I was like, good to know. Let's see what else we can bring to the table.
Exactly.
She had already mastered ballet. Good.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago. But for most of us, we've never mastered anything.
Yeah. Oh, there's always something to learn.
So let's talk about OPA.
Okay.
How did you and OPA become a thing?
I think because they had like a dual, I don't know what they called it. They had a nonprofit section and a for-profit section. And my concern when I first came into the organization was the fact that in Kansas City, there were so many things to do as a child. There were just like loads of things to do as a child, whether it was dancing or singing or acting or heavens knows, just lots of things. And I came here and there just never seemed to be anything that was for children developmentally, as far as like being able to go out and experience what a complete ballet was like, or what a complete musical, or a complete tap production, or jazz production, or any production for that matter, and all of the steps necessary to get to that end goal. And so I was like, well, this isn't good. We got to do something. So we started Pizzazz, which looking back is the silliest name ever. But Pizzazz they were a full curriculum program, which we now call All in Auto, which means trained. And they trained in everything. And they were not necessarily the best ones. They were the ones that were willing to work the hardest. They were the ones that, I have a birthday party, but I need to go to my lesson and then I can go to the birthday party. I have, a 2-tier or 3-tier program or project that's due at school. So I'm going to learn to break that up into the 3 weeks prior to when it's due so that I can still hit all my training and my rehearsals and my performances and still make an A on this.
Wow.
And so we take a lot of those time management and development skills and make sure even when little ones, we don't care how old you are. We still expect you to be an accountable, respectful, authentic human. Don't give me anything else. And don't give any of our faculty anything else, because these faculty are chosen because of something particular that they can bring to the table that no one else could bring. We have a very eclectic staff, and makes me cry. I'm so proud of them. We have an opera singer, literally a world-famous opera singer, down the hall teaching 6-year-olds. And she is phenomenal. Is she dry? Yes. Is she to the point? Hallelujah. She's to the point, and I love it. We just have a really great group here.
That's fantastic. So Oklahoma Performing Arts has a mission of creatively growing character. Pretty powerful statement.
Yeah.
What does that mean in practice?
What does it mean in practice? It's a great question. It means that our students, our clientele, our staff, myself, all of us should model humanity and character. We should be kind people. We should do our job, whatever that might be, even if it's 3 years old. Do our job well and take pride in who we are and who our community is. That's what it is.
Simple and sweet.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. So how do you measure character growth beyond just performance?
Well, we don't really measure a character in a performance. We do measure whether they're being a good person, I suppose, or a good character or whatever. But trying to think of a good story. How do I measure character? Geez, that's a tough one. Thank you.
I like to throw some tough ones out.
Okay. I'll give you an example of today. Okay. I was teaching 5 and 6-year-olds. And we work really hard on communication. 2 of the kids in there, the 6-year-olds, had been in there probably 5 lessons, 7 lessons now. And we had 2 new people come in. One of the little girls is autistic. verbal but minimal. And she was struggling to get to her spot. And before I could guide her, one of the 6-year-olds, with just complete gentleness, showed her, explained to her that this was her spot, and used words. It was my opportunity to recognize that for the 6-year-old to give value to what she did for another human. And by doing that, not only did the autistic child feel seen, but so did the 6-year-old as a leader. So that's how we develop that character, is by recognizing actions that maybe were not told specifically, but they did, oh the Lord, organically or just from being a human. Most of us are born beautiful. You know what I mean? I would probably say everybody. Not really are we born wicked. We're born beautiful.
Yeah.
And so we just innately, that's the word I was looking for.
There you go.
She just innately just helped her because we all want to help
Sure.
or be helped.
We're all born with this need for community.
Oh my word, yes.
And so we want to interact and help each other naturally.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. So OPA emphasizes a non-competitive environment, which is pretty unique in the performing arts world because we are taught as actors
Oh.
to.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah. And I'm highly competitive. Oh my gosh.
So so why is the non-competitive approach so important to you?
I think because we forget that, yeah, somebody may be better, somebody may be worse, but we're all in it together for the love of Pete, you know? And if we keep beating each other down and saying, I'm better than you, we allow our egos to take hold instead of working like we were just discussing about being community, because we are not in this alone.
Yeah.
And when you allow that ego to take over and you're like, I am all that and a bag of chips, that's when you're wrong. And it's bound to get you at some point.
Yeah.
And then you miss the joy.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago now? What is it, 2026?
Mhm.
Okay, so 6 years ago, my daughter got terribly ill, and it had been her 4th time of being terribly ill. And we almost lost her again. And it was at that time I went, I'm done. I am so done with hate. I am so done with all of it that I am no longer doing that. And nor will anyone else in this building do that. And we are joy-seeking people, period. Because you can grow from that. Your body can heal from that. There's a lot of spirituality and love and healing that goes with seeking joy actively.
Yeah.
So.
And you know, especially these young people, there's enough out there in the world. It's going to break them down.
Yeah.
You know, they need to have some place that's going to build them up.
Oh yeah. We welcome anything, everything, anyone, everyone. The only thing not in this building is hate. That is it. And I've only had to walk it outside a couple of times.
That's great.
I was like, oh, you can think that way, but you have to do it out here.
Yeah.
So that's your right to be that way, that you cannot do it in the building. So
Wonderful. Wonderful. So in doing the research, you incorporate is it Weichert?
Oh, the Weichert Youth Method.
Weichert Center Youth Program Quality Method.
Blah, 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 yeah.
In your for listeners who aren't familiar with this, can you explain what that method is and how it influences the approach here?
I probably will completely butcher it. But I will tell you that if you do listeners take time to find it, oh my gosh, it is transformative. It really is a fabulous program. I have taught this particular method forever. Had no idea it had like a name. Didn't know that I actually had like labels for active listening and all these things. It was just how I've always taught, because I thought, for me to be able to teach whatever I was teaching, I needed to see it from their perspective, break it down, figure out why, explain to them why, then go back, do it again, blah, blah, blah. It's just how I've always done it. So it is kind of an active listening approach to teaching. Why do they need to do this? Why do they hear it this way? What do you have to share with me that maybe I'm not seeing or hearing so that I can approach it differently or stronger for you? That's it. And it doesn't really apply to children. It applies to everybody. We go, oh, this is for children. Nah, it's a communication skill. Interpersonal communication is huge. You need that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, is it a fabulous program? Absolutely. Did I go through some kind of certification? Matter of fact, when you said we're going to be doing this, I was like, uh-oh, I need to know what this is really called. And I was calling my friends going, what is this called? And they were like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. We did it during COVID. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't know what it's called. We couldn't find the specific program that we did during COVID. And they were like, I don't know. There were lots of us from all over the country that did this particular thing. And it was just something to do. That sounds terrible. Weichert, if you're listening, it's wonderful. It really is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I can't remember the name of it. And I apologize, but it's fabulous. And it is a social, emotional learning approach. And I know sometimes we get a lot of heat from saying those lovely 3 letters, but if we could all communicate that way and educate each other that way, even if we're adults, it would be so much easier. It would be so much more joy.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem we have in the world today is how we communicate with each other.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just,
Yeah.
So the Weichert method emphasizes structure, leadership, and positive youth development.
Yeah.
How do you see those 3 elements working together in a performance arts context?
Well, aren't they kind of innately in there? Okay. I was like, oh, is this a trick question?
Kind of. I just wanted to hear your perspective on it.
Yeah, no, I think they're already built into it. It's kind of what the arts do naturally, because we, okay, not to like stand on the ballet or the dance podium here, but dance, there's all this talk now of, oh my gosh, so dance, does this for you and does that for you. And, the science is this and the science is that. That science has been around forever, Yeah, dance is literally the only thing that uses every aspect of your brain. And it develops a child. And why we don't do classical ballet and classical or traditional tap in every elementary school blows my mind, because it develops fabulous kids. Yeah, you're going to get your kid that looks at you and doesn't want to do it, or puts their arms on their heads and, goes, don't you want a real job? Don't you want to work at McDonald's? Which I've been told that, and I'm like, no, I really kind of like my job, and you're going to stand up and do it too. Guess what? I have a funny story for you. Okay.
Sure.
All right. And I will not disclose names, but I was asked to do a leadership, what's it called? It's like the leadership arts leadership thing. Oh, dang it. What is the name of it? Leadership arts leadership, snap. Anyway, nevertheless, it was with a bunch of very wealthy people, senators, a few representatives, this, that, and the other. And I was supposed to teach them dance. And I used the Weichert method. And I said, okay, we're going to have everybody stand up here, so the first thing we're going to do, and kind of went through the agenda. And this very large man, very prominent man, I don't do that. Oh, that is perfectly fine. If you could just stand here for me, that would be delightful. Just stand here. And I went about my thing. Probably about maybe 15 minutes later, he started moving. And by the end of it, he goes, this was the best thing I had ever done. Given space and given joy, people will do what you need. But you have to give them the space and the opportunity to find the joy in failing. And that's what we do a lot here. It's okay, you messed up, good, get up. Now we get to try again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I used to say a lot whenever I finished my master's degree, going through all that learning. I have an MBA, and so I've spent a lot of time learning about leadership and all of that. And so part of that was there's a huge aspect. I wrote a blog on it years ago. Failure is always an option.
Oh, yeah.
We teach, I mean, you hear that phrase over and over, failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. And I'm just like, then how do you improve?
Yeah. How are you going to get to the end if you don't fall down? You got to fall down.
You know, I think the classic story was, after 99 or 199 times of failing, Thomas Edison said that he found that many things that just didn't work.
Yeah.
Until he found the one that did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that's the best way to say it. Without the failing, you never find the right way.
Yeah. I have failed so many times. So many times.
Absolutely.
And I think it's through that failure that I have found so many amazing people.
Absolutely.
And this building, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
To get here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is it the best building? No. Is it a great building? Yes.
Absolutely.
But it's a great building because of the people.
Yeah.
And maybe the plants, but the people too. There's some really nice plants. And we have Bob, our bear, and Kodiak, another bear.
Yeah. But I mean, without that, I mean, it's just a space.
Exactly.
It's not, it doesn't come alive until the people get here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love that. So, yeah, we answered that one. So let's move on. So, talking about what you do here at OPA, you have 3 distinct programs. You have OPA training, the Alanato, is that what you said? And Louis.
And we have another one.
Oh, and another one? Okay.
Yeah. We have the at Studio One, which is the black box.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you have your own theater. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with training.
Okay.
Okay. This is the foundational program for ages 3 to 19. Is that correct? Okay. What does that age-based curriculum look like?
Well, we break it up into ages, clearly. I mean, we have our pre-performers, which is our 3 and 4s. We have our inter-performers, which are 5 and 6. Then we have our beginning performers, 7 to 9. And it kind of scales up from there. They can study anywhere from ballet, tap, jazz, acrobatics, music, voice, and acting and technical theater, all the way to a theater track or a dance track or a triple threat track. So we have tracks.
Okay. So how do you adapt your teaching for such a wide range? Because we're talking, you're looking at from 3 to 19.
Well,
how does that adapt?
Each level has its own set of curriculum and its own set of expectations.
Now, did you develop the curriculum here, or?
We have a structure.
Okay.
And then the way that some of this is proprietary, so I'm not gonna.
Oh, of course, yeah. Don't be
I was
details.
like, how do I answer this?
Yeah, of course.
The structure or the framework is there, and then each of the teaching artists approach that with their expertise. So mine might be a little different than Director Sierra's or Miss V's or Miss Linda's or Miss Megan's or Mr. Clark's or whomever else, may be teaching them. The 3-year-olds are taught basic structure, and then as they come in, it's really discipline specific. So, I mean, if they're teaching ballet or if they're learning ballet, it would be dependent on where they are, both emotionally and physically, So, we've had kids. We have one of our teachers is in a wheelchair and she teaches ballet. She teaches classical ballet. Can she do some of it? Yeah, she has dynamic disabilities, so she can stand and sometimes she doesn't, but she still does classical work. So, I mean, we approach it from where that particular person is. So
no, I
think that's the answer.
So along the same lines, kind of a drawn out question. So you talked about you have certain age groups that you call your beginner performers. So let's say you had someone that was older than that, but had never done that before.
We still put them in with the proper appropriate age.
Okay.
There's a lot of argument back and forth on both sides of that. For us, because we are working with the person, the child, where they are, especially emotionally. If you put, let's say that a 15-year-old knows nothing, and you put them in with a 7-year-old that knows something, their value has just diminished greatly. They don't want to be in with a 7-year-old. They already feel stupid because they know they don't know. So if you put them in with their peers and give the framework of, we understand this is your first swing at this, great. Follow along. We'll help you fill in the gaps until you get caught up to where you are. And it has not failed yet, so it works well. There are people that, this program is not for everyone. Because it is very authentic and it's very real. And we aren't going to say you're doing something right if you're not. So do we give little short people scarves and ask them to skip in a circle? Nope, we don't. We expect them to answer in complete sentences. We expect them to stand in first position and talk to us and as if they were a human, because they are, And we understand they're 3. We understand there's going to be some movement, but we also know that frenetic movement is that. And they learn to learn. And then they learn to understand, oops, I messed that up. Yes, I can fix that now, and they recognize where they make their errors. So, no, we keep them all by their ages and then scale it to meet them.
Good.
That's why our classes are not big. They are small by design.
Which helps with the individual attention.
Oh, absolutely. And we know where our kids are academically because we also tutor.
Okay.
Yeah. All of our folks are in that position. So, yeah.
Excellent.
And if we aren't, we will find somebody for you. Absolutely. Nobody gets turned away here. We will help you.
Good.
So much so that one time we had somebody need a refrigerator and we gave them ours because it was easier for us to get one donated than for them to be able to afford to buy one.
That's amazing.
They're like, hey, come on, let's go get this one.
Wow.
So, no, we are a community. We love you guys.
That's what I love to hear. So then we have Alanado.
Oh, Alanado. That's kind of our...
Which is the all-youth performance arts.
Mm-hmm.
It's for your more advanced students,
No.
usually? No?
No.
So it's anybody can be a part of it?
Anybody?
What are the requirements, if you will, for
The willingness
program?
to work your fanny off.
Okay.
Willingness to listen, willingness to trust, willingness to have a family or an adult unit that is willing to bring you. Yeah, I mean, that is basically it.
So what separates Alanado from the training program?
Training, you get to pick and choose. You can take a ballet class, you can take a tap class, you can take an acting class, you can take a voice class. Alanado is all-encompassing. It's a full curriculum. You also have a set of expectations. You have to behave. You have to communicate. These are all requirements. You don't really have a choice, and it's okay if you don't want to do Alanado. But when you sign up at the top of the season, just like a contract, you are in it for the season. So figure it out. So, yeah.
So people can come in and out of the program?
Not out of Alanado.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well,
So if they drop out, they're done.
They're done for that particular season. So if they start like the 26-27 season, we're doing the prelim bridges right now. So during middle of February to the end of March, we do what we call an Alanado prelim bridge. And that means we have people come in from outside and they kind of shadow and take the lessons that you would if you were an Alanado student. So you have a greater understanding of what the expectation level is. Because a lot of these kids study a lot, and then they're expected to have very good grades. Most of our Alanado students that have come through this are either merit scholars, top 10% of their class. But that's not like a woo-woo thing. That's what the arts do. That's what time management does. That's what commitment does. That's what consistency does. There's no magic sauce here. It just isn't. This is just what it is. Are they special people? No, they're just regular people, doing what the arts do.
Yeah. The arts opens the mind.
Oh, it
really
absolutely
does.
does.
I believe that. Is there an audition process to get into that? No?
No.
Okay.
They need to participate in the prelim bridge. Let's say somebody moved in from out of state, and they're like, dang, I want to do all in auto. Great, come in. We start to put you where you would be age-wise, get you acclimated, then you shadow for a while. Like we have 2 students that are shadowing right now, because they've been in the program. They've been in OPA for almost a year now. And yeah, they're ready. They understand that it's a commitment. So.
Okay. Please. Got a tickle going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Louie, which stands for Let Us Entertain You. I like that.
Yeah.
It's for all ages.
Yes, 7 to 87.
So let's talk about your adult students. Would you consider them students?
I consider them participants in a program.
Okay.
So Louie is our community theater program. We do basically 4 shows a year. It depends on the season. Our 26-27 season hasn't been officially announced. We do know 100% that we're doing Miracle on 34th Street by Vern Stefanik and Doug Smith. Other than that, we're still kind of going back and forth with a few things.
Gotta love that process.
Yeah, but yeah, we have a couple of programs within that program. One is what we call our Curtain Call Crusaders, which is our cross generations program, which it's like a 6-week kind of thing where they're the core, like the background of a major show. So in Miracle, we'll have Curtain Call Crusaders, and they're generally speaking like a grandparent and a grandchild. And they don't have lines, but they do sing, but they don't like come in and learn all of the harmony and all of the music. They're just there. They sing, they have a good time, and they're part of theater, and it's a good way to introduce people that have never been part of something. So it's a good way to step into the pool without having to drown. And it is 6 weeks, and they come for 4 weeks of rehearsal and then 2 weeks of shows. So that's that part of Louie. The other part is that, they have a regular 8 to 10 week rehearsal period and then the 2 weeks of shows. So it runs pretty much like a theater where, they're given their scripts 3 months out or 2 months out. Here, you got to know your lines when you come in. If you don't know your lines, guess what? Sayonara. You got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So what's it like to work with such a diverse group? Different ages, different genders, different cultures, all in one.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. I don't think I could ask for a better life. I love it.
Okay.
I just love it. I love it.
And you said you have a fourth aspect to the Miracle Studio One.
Yeah, it's at Studio One, the at symbol Studio One.
Yeah.
At Studio One. And it's still kind of hiccupy. It's got some glitches to it. We do choreo creations, which is for our dancers. And we have choreo creations for adults. And then we have a choreo creations 2.0. Anybody can, what's it called? Submit an application, for whatever work. The works need to be anywhere from 3 to 7 to 12 minutes in length. So it can be a full program. And then we present it. For the adult, it's an evening of spirits and charcuterie, and we sit down, and then the artists afterwards have a panel, and we discuss what their work was like and why they did it and how they created it and blah, blah, blah. The 2.0 is for children, so it's like 18 and under, and all of the material must be family friendly. We don't do guns, we don't do glitter. No knives either. Glitter is just as bad as any kind of anything.
Absolutely, it's not family friendly.
Yeah, glitter's terrible. Then we do something called speakeasy, and a speakeasy is for your vocalists, your musicians, spoken word artists, and they come in and do something much like the choreo creations. So we have a speakeasy for adults and a speakeasy for children. And then we have a GNS, Gilbert and Sullivan night. And some of these are still struggling to get off the ground. But I love GNS. I was with Look forever, so I love GNS. And was asked to do it again, and I was like, oh, God, there's no way. But I will do a GNS night. So here we go. So we have a GNS night. So that's kind of what the At Studio One series is. Bringing in artists, local artists, and giving them a place they do not have to pay. That is free to perform. Yeah, do you have to pay to come in? Yeah. And, and eventually, hopefully, we can share those proceeds with our artists. At this point, we're breaking even if we're lucky.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you're kind of introducing your people to outside culture, bringing that in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Our folks, we've not really had people within OPA do the At Studio One series. It's generally outside artists that come in. So
do your people actually come and watch it?
Yeah, but it's generally general public.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't track that. Good thought.
Do they or do they not?
I was like, oh.
Maybe you should ask everybody, hey, did you come?
Do you come on? I don't know.
So OPA offers a free 1-week trial. Still, okay.
Yeah.
Where prospective students can try as many lessons as they like within their age level. Not many places do that.
So we do 4 weeks of those.
You do, okay.
We do it, yeah. We have a really, I don't know, it probably is why, I don't know. I, as the executive director and our board, strongly believe that your pennies should not determine your education.
Ooh, I like that.
So we don't turn anyone away. Ever.
Wow, that's good.
And we don't disclose who's on scholarship. It's not known. Nobody knows other than the board and myself. Because nobody needs to know.
Yeah.
It's just not something you need to know.
So speaking of that, do you have organizations and people that serve as donors to help fund those scholarships, or do you go and search those donors and stuff out?
I go and I'm learning to get better at that. We have several of our staff that are not paid as well as they ought to be or should be, but they also believe strongly in the mission of what we do here. So, yeah, we just do it because somebody's got to do it because these kids need it desperately. We're in the public school system, and I wouldn't change that for anything. I would do like I said earlier, I would do it in every elementary school if I could figure it out. So
you are connected with Tulsa Public Schools?
Tulsa Public Schools primarily, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We taught in Broken Arrow Public Schools. Two of our teachers did for 3 or 4 years with the Art Tech grant that came through COVID. But when it was no longer, the school system did not have the funds or the means to pick us back up.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So, talking about the staff, the faculty and the staff. You you wear 2 hats, both executive and artistic director.
Yes.
How do you find the ability to balance the business side with the artistic?
Well, as any executive director will tell you, you have to do whatever you have to do. It's that simple. As far as artistic goes, development and creating, coming up with stuff like that. Oh God, I love it. I just love it. I develop the programs. I love creating ballets. I just did a pirate ballet, Stolen Scroll of Tripsichore, and was challenged to use all of the Pirates of the Caribbean music, which I did, and used little known pieces of it. Several years ago, I did Polly the Performer. And somebody wanted me to create an entire tap production based on Shostakovich, which I did. And it was great. Oh my God, I loved that tap production. And this year I'm working on a musical based on Sondheim's music and probably the timeline of Sondheim's music. Our senior this upcoming year is an excellent vocalist, and so yeah, we're musical bound. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Cool. So, you have a faculty page on your website introducing your instructors to.
Yeah.
So everything from ballet to voice to technical theater. How do you recruit instructors for the program?
Oh my gosh, that's funny you should say that. Boy, you have to be a very versatile human to be on staff here. Most of our staff can teach anything, and I do mean anything. You have to have some kind of background in education, counseling, medicine, because we just have a myriad of things that we do here that it's not just like you come in and teach a class and leave. You're pretty much invested. We have an ongoing chat that we are constantly making sure that every single solitary student has all of us invested in them becoming whoever they might be.
Oh, very cool.
So, I mean, we are always going, well, did so-and-so did this? Did such and such do that? Do we get this? Did you talk to that parent? Because, they're still not understanding. We have some language one of our staff speaks 3 languages. The chick is amazing, so, I mean, they're just really super cool humans. So, yeah.
That was kind of another question that I had. With you, how many do you have on staff?
10. There's 10 of us all
You have
together.
10 on staff. How many students would you say you have right now?
Oh gosh, I don't know. That's not my thing. So yeah.
So you've got and I'm just being here tonight. You've got a bunch. So do you guys meet regularly to coordinate all of that, or
every day? Because we love Google. We are in Google chat all the time talking about kids. That's what we do. So that is an ongoing thing. We have monthly staff meetings, like this month is employee appreciation or something like that. And so they're coming to my house to have dinner this weekend. And are we going to talk business? Of course. What else do we talk about?
That's the main thing. It connects all of you guys. So of course you got it. Yeah. So, okay. So, you've been leading OPA now for 20 years.
20 plus, yeah.
Legacy. I mean, it's a legacy. What is your leadership philosophy?
Oh, Snapdragon. What a question. My leadership philosophy. Oh, maybe this is the answer. I don't know if this is the answer. I may be that person, but I don't look at myself as you're the boss, you're the employee. We have what I call a Camelot, a round table philosophy where we're all equal. So I don't, the only time I get a little sticky or a little edgy would be when they don't listen or don't journal. Oh, we're supposed to journal for every lesson so that we know where we are, like in the event that somebody's sick or gone or whatever, because a lot of our artists are working people. Unfortunately, I cannot pay them a working or a living salary, which I would, that'd be delightful. So they have to journal so that we know where we are in each lesson. So they take notes on every lesson. So.
Okay. So I'm going to hit you with a good one.
Okay.
In today's world where arts programs are often the first to be cut, what would you say to someone who questions the value of a program like this?
I would say that's a very good question. Clearly, you've not been through a program like this. That's probably what I would say. I think I would tell them a story about a young person who came here whose parent told us they wanted to be an actor. They said, he's kind of nonverbal though. Okay. cool, come on. This person was not what you would picture as conventional or traditional. And they now, after 2 years, only 2 years of being here, are actually seeking higher education. They had no desire to do that. They talk, they laugh, they have joy in their heart. The parent wants to know what we did. And there's nothing, again, we're back to that magic sauce. There's no magic sauce. We were there. We stood there. We said, you can. It's okay to fail. Try again. Stand back up. Here we go. Yeah, you didn't do it quite as well as you could. Try again. You can do better. And just kept going. And we all did it collectively. Not me, not another teacher, all of us, including him. So.
Wow.
So that's the value of the program.
I like that. I really do. So looking ahead, what's next for OPA?
More funding.
More funding. Absolutely. That's kind of like theater as a whole, isn't it?
Yeah, more funding. More funding.
Do you have any exciting plans, programs, or expansion?
Yeah, we're trying to make consistency here. Again, consistency is the magic sauce.
So there is magic sauce.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Not real. Thanks. Spit my word back at me. No, the consistency is the big deal, and we just want to be as consistent and as present as possible. And as things do get cut, and as our world kind of goes through whatever transition that we're going through at this time, we want to be there. We want to be there for anyone, that needs us. Are we going to expect you to be a person? Yes. Don't bring anything hateful in here because we will ask you to leave. So, and it'll probably be me, but hey, yeah. So
Cool. So if someone listening to the podcast is interested in getting involved with OPA, whether it's a student, a parent enrolling their child, a volunteer, or a donor, what should they do?
You can email us. You can call us. You can chat on the messenger on Facebook or Instagram. There's a myriad of ways of contacting us. And we love having people here. We have people that drive from Goodlands. Where is it? I know they drive about an hour. Because the kid the other day told me it took him 2 hours to get here. And I was like, where do you live again? She goes, Fort Gibson. And I was like, it's not 2 hours, friend. So, yeah. Lee or Skiatook. They drive from Skiatook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Must be doing something right.
It's theater. It's fun.
That's right. So, and I will make sure that all of those, the website, the email address, all that stuff is in the show notes so everybody can find that. So as we wrap up today, I always love to do this. We will try to end every episode with the people that we're talking to with what we call our curtain call curveballs.
Oh, great Scott.
So I asked random questions, off the top of your head answers.
Okay.
Don't overthink it. It's meant to be fun. Okay. So
I love fun.
First thing off the top of your head, what's your favorite musical of all time?
Oh, Candide. I know it's not a musical, but Candide. Oh, my word. Make Your Garden Grow. I just lose it. I love Candide.
Okay. Well, that's great. If you could have dinner with any theater legend, living or dead, who would it be?
Gene Kelly.
I love it. Love it. What's a role that you've always wanted to play but never have?
Oh. I don't think I've ever given that any thought. Oh, Marta. Marta and Giselle.
Okay. Yeah. See? There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Giselle's my favorite ballet.
Okay. What piece of advice, the best piece of advice that you ever received about teaching or directing?
See, you're gonna make me cry. I had a director like 5 billion years ago tell me to just never settle. Don't you ever give up. Never settle.
That's good.
Yeah. Jim Cox. Loved it.
Good stuff. If you weren't in theater or in arts education, what would you be doing?
Oh, my word. I love trees. I would be the executive director for Up with Trees.
Okay.
Oh, I love Up with Trees.
and it's so much more active here in Tulsa than anywhere else in the state.
Really? Oh, I
Yes.
love,
Yeah,
I buy sweatshirts and I plant trees.
there you go. So what's one thing, and this may answer with that, what's one thing outside of theater that you geek out about?
I love science. I love learning. I love science. I love behavioral science. I love to know the why behind everything.
Me too. I love why. I got dubbed one time by a previous employer as the why guy.
Yeah.
Because I love to ask
I don't
questions. So
understand.
complete this sentence. Oklahoma theater is special because
Oklahoma theater or Oklahoma Performing Arts?
Oklahoma theater.
Oklahoma theater is special because without it, our culture and our community would not be complete.
It's very good.
Oh, thanks.
It's very
I
good.
feel that way.
And what so many people don't understand, and we talk about this, a lot on the podcast and stuff, that, as storytellers, as we were talking about earlier, that that goes back to the beginning of time. That's how they relate history.
Oh, yeah.
And even here in Oklahoma, before we were here, that's how the Native Americans did it.
Yep.
Their culture was passed down through telling stories. And so Oklahoma was born and bred on theater, on acting,
It's like, it's not new.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, without it,
Yeah.
our culture would die. So.
We would.
Very cool. Thank you, Laura, for doing this. We
Oh,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for your grace that you constantly, I'm like going, oh, I got to remember. Oh, yeah, I got to do this. Oh, wait. I'm really not as flighty as those people would think.
Well, no,
When I just
there's
juggle.
so much here.
I know,
to
to
juggle
say I
with.
juggle a lot of hats right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And for everybody listening at home, that you don't understand is Laura and OPA were probably some of the first and most avid supporters of Oklahoma on Stage, and have been from the very beginning. And so I'm very thankful. And this interview here has been kind of a long time coming, because the schedules just have not lined up or whatever. And
or somebody got hurt.
Yeah, well, thanks. Glad you remember that. But that's not part of the show. So But yeah, I'm so glad that we could sit down and have this conversation and finally get to meet face to face. And so it's been a lot of fun. So thank you. So,
Well, thank you. This is exciting and scary all at once.
hey.
Like
I think the same thing every time I do it.
Yeah.
For everybody else listening at home, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be a part of this. Thank you for taking us along on your car ride, your book time, whatever it is that you do. We appreciate you being with us. And no matter what you do, we appreciate it if you would continue to support the arts.